Hello YouTubers, back in the saddle, skedaddle out of Seattle.
Something I think is funny lately is how we've started to demonize this new concept of soft boys.
So there is a YouTuber that I have subscribed to recently. He's a very young and intellectual female by the name of Ashley, let's see, Elisa, Elisa, yeah. If I butchered your last name, I'm sorry, but shout out to you. Thank you for what you do on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. She made a video that I just liked recently, and the video is entitled, "Why Do People Hate Soft Boys?" You know. Let me check on my, this thing real quick. Here, over here. Awesome, that's dry. Okay. Well then. Let me grab what I need here, YouTube. Hold on a second. This is the last wand in the batch that needs a handle, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I wanted to make sure that that the glow-in-the-dark paint is done drying, and yep, it's done drying. That looks pretty good. It's not coming off on my hands. Excellent. So I decided to try something different with my batch of wands. This time I'm using some copper wire that I purchased at Home Depot. And I don't know, we'll see how it I'm looking at the clear wand is the first one to get done, and so far I gotta say I like the way the wands look with this as the handle. So I won't completely switch over to this. I'll still do wands made out of leather. If anything, this gives me an option to work with. But let's go ahead and watch this video while I wrap this handle.
And apparently your soft boy is just a self-aware fuck boy who knows what he's doing, knows how to trigger all the emotional cues, and is into all the same things that women are in, is into all your favorite movies, loves to talk about his feelings, all that stuff that women have been saying they wanted from men all along. However, a lot of people have figured out a way to demonize these soft boys again. Apparently these soft boys use their emotions so well that they can manipulate a girl into liking them, and then they can hide their true intentions of being a secret fuckboy who just wants to have sex with them and stop talking to them or something. There's no consideration of whether or not these guys are actually emotional or if these guys are actually feeling this way. It's another way that men have become horrible, and they're hiding their intentions behind this masquerade of pretending to be some soft creature who's harmless. And I think that's interesting because a lot of people, women especially, have been saying men have to express their emotions more. Men have to say what they want, they have to be able to cry, they have to be able to talk things out and just be more emotional in their relationships and not be such a strong man who doesn't express anything. They're a new guy that girls seem to hate. They're not overly subservient like your typical nice guy, but they're not your alpha sort of Chad guy, I guess. So they're this weird in-between that somehow has started to turn off a lot of girls because they started to view it as manipulative. They have your quirks, they're usually socialist, they're usually some sort of male feminist, they usually are against the patriarchy or something, and they usually respect women a lot. So that's your typical soft boy. Maybe an art boy. He writes poems to you about how much he loves your mind and how much he doesn't care about what you look like. He'll put all this effort into small talk with you, the stuff that women say they love. He'll put all the effort into getting to know your mind, really try and talk to you about their philosophies and stuff like that because they think you're into it and they think that girls like that. But apparently girls have started to see this as manipulative. They haven't seen it as guys just trying to talk to them like human beings. Because with guys, there's always an ulterior motive, apparently. So a guy can't just talk to a girl like a rational human being. There's no more oh, I genuinely want to talk to you about this subject. Somehow, a lot of people have twisted it and turned it into a situation where this soft boy is just saying all the right things to get you to like him. What? So apparently guys aren't allowed to talk to girls anymore about these type of subjects or express their emotions with one another. It's really interesting because that's what people seem to say that they wanted. They wanted guys to open up. They wanted guys to talk about their feelings. But I guess they're just doing it wrong, so nobody likes it. So it seems like the complete renouncing of any sort of masculine traits. They're emotional, they like all the same things girls do, they're feminists, and all this stuff. But somehow it's still toxic masculinity. Still. So my question is, why do women not like these soft boys? Why are they ridiculed on social media? Why are they seen as cringe? I know a lot of people already talk about this, saying that it's never really that great to cry in front of a girl. She won't respect you, blah, blah, blah. Don't be all deep in your feelings with her. I never really believed that until I started seeing that some people do make fun of the fact that guys express their emotions. I mean, you had on Twitter when Ariana Grande broke up with Pete Davidson, and there's a picture of him crying, and everyone just immediately started to ridicule him, saying how he was weak or something, and just making fun of him for crying. And I still think that guys aren't allowed to express their emotions without being ridiculed. I mean, you got all your Instagram pages of soft boys where they're making fun of guys' cringe texts. And maybe their texts just really gassing up women, saying, you're my goddess, you're my queen, you're my perfect woman. And a lot of people just read that like, really? I mean, it comes to the same situation when you look at YouTube comments of where there's tons of guys gassing up girls in YouTube comments saying, oh my god, you're so perfect, marry me, blah, blah, blah. I do think that writing those type of comments is kind of exemplary of being a soft boy, because you're sitting there writing some 6-paragraph essay about how perfect a girl is on the internet, or you're commenting every day about this girl on Instagram saying she's so artistic for showing her ass or something. So in the end, the rise of soft boys is kind of expected because it's everything that a woman wanted in a guy. They wanted an emotional guy. They wanted a guy to talk to, all this stuff. And he's not a nice guy. He's not someone who is subservient to her, but he's still ridiculed. There's somehow a ridiculing of the middle ground, which I just found to be interesting. Because even though they're trying to get in touch with their feelings and express their feelings to girls, somehow girls still view it as manipulative. And maybe that's the case, that some guys will shed their emotions on girls in order to just get it out there and perhaps even be manipulative. Like gaslighting, I know, is common. But it's interesting how any sort of adjustment that men start to make in their personality gets immediately demonized if it becomes a little bit too common. So I don't think soft boys are some embodiment of toxic masculinity, and I don't think they're even necessarily horrible people who are just using their emotions to get in the good graces of women. I think they might just be genuine guys who are expressing themselves to women, perhaps in cheesy ways, but they're just getting ridiculed for it. So then what is a guy supposed to do? I guess get out of the matrix somehow. So there you go. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, she made a lot of good points on this video, YouTube. Men are definitely not allowed to express their emotions. And now when they do express their emotions, women everywhere. I wish I had a guy that was more sensitive. Women everywhere complaining about how they can't find a guy who's more sensitive, and then as soon as they find a sensitive guy, they bitch and they complain, and they ridicule him for being sensitive. Like, make up your goddamn mind. Like just yesterday as a matter of fact, I was walking to the bus to catch it to go to Home Depot, and all I did, YouTube, was I seen a chick getting stuff out of her car, and all I did was smile politely. I wasn't talking to her, I wasn't anything. All I did was smile politely, walking by, and she had this exhausted tone in her voice, like, I'm taken. And I immediately said, look, I wasn't asking if you were taken. All I did was smile politely. Like Jesus fucking Christ. And she brings up another good point. Like, I understand that, men are assholes sometimes, and it's good to be on the defensive, but when you're on the defensive to the point where you just come off as insufferable, when you're so defensive, you come off as insufferable. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? It's... And that's just it. Could you imagine, okay, for just 1 second, let's say, hypothetically, I wanted a Lamborghini, and I got what I wanted, and then as soon as the Lamborghini showed up to my front door, I'm all bitching because I got a Lamborghini. People will be going, why did you buy it? Why did you order it? What have you, And it's no different with this concept here, Yes, there are some men who use the soft boy approach just to get pussy, and it's disgusting. And because some of these men have used the soft boy approach to getting laid, and that's all they care about, it makes women a lot more defensive. And anything that a man does is toxic, his masculinity is toxic, We live in a society where women are told to embrace their feminine side, to be empowered, which is awesome. But anytime a man tries to show any masculinity, he's demonized for it. Ugh, you sexist rape apologist pig. How dare you try to show your masculinity? Well, here we go. Let's see. What is toxic masculinity? Well, let's see. I'll let all those wands get done drying on the glue before I trim the excess copper off, and then after I trim the excess copper off, I'll put polish on them and make them all shiny. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, so today I wanted to talk about something that has been mildly requested, but also something I feel not a lot of people talk about, which is toxic masculinity. Now, what is toxic masculinity? According to Google, it is the adherence to traditional male gender roles that restrict the kinds of emotion allowable for boys and men to express, including social expectations that men seek to be dominant, the alpha male, and limit their emotional range primarily to expressions of anger. It also plays into hypermasculinity, which is the psychological term for the exaggeration of male stereotypical behavior, such as an emphasis on physical strength, aggression, and sexuality. Now, this also plays into gender roles, but I'm not exactly going to talk about the extreme push of gender roles because I am sort of a traditionalist myself. And this isn't going to be knocking anybody who has traditions and believes in gender roles, but more so about stuff that can actually affect or does affect every male. It's not going to be about dresses or makeup, because that's just a small portion that doesn't hold weight to everyone.
Okay, so basically, if you try to be a successful male, just say it like that. If you try to be a male who's career driven and driven to find a partner and a good career and make lots of money, if you're driven to be an alpha male, you get labeled as a toxic masculinity type. And this is a problem with our society, YouTube. 1000%. Women are constantly told, Go out there and make it happen. Make your career happen. You know, find yourself a good man and a good career. You go, girl, get it, you know. But anytime a man tries to do these things, go out, get a good career that's solid, go out, find a good woman and a decent job, or express his emotions, he's labeled as a typical male. So when you live in a society where we live in a society where women are coddled for their emotions. Women are 1000% allowed to show their emotions, where men, on the other hand, are told to suck it up. If men try to express their views or opinions in society, they get labeled as toxic or a typical would-be alpha male, you know. And this is the problem we have with our society. One of many problems, I should say. And now here's the thing of it. If men show their emotions, if they give women what they want, women still complain, deem them as cringy and, you know. So sometimes it feels like with women you just can't win. I'm not trying to be negative towards women when I say that. I'm just telling it like I see it, you know. You hold the door for you hold the damn door for some women, and some women get pissed off when you try to hold the door for them. You know, you so much as look at a woman and smile politely, and you're demonized. I'm taken. Wasn't asking, I was just being polite. This literally happened to me yesterday. I'm walking to the bus to go up to Home Depot, and lo and behold, I see a chick getting stuff out of her car as I walk by, smile politely, and, you know, yeah. I assumed she was taken. I'm not stupid. That's the first rule of dating. Always assume they're taken. Yeah. Play the scene out a bit. No, but this is the problem with our society. Men cannot show emotion or have standards without being labeled a pig or a soft boy. But if women have standards, women show emotion, they're supported 100%. And, you know, women are supported when they're embracing their female side. When women embrace their female, they're supported 100%. You know what I'm saying? You never hear people say, well, that's just toxic feminism. You never hear people say that shit. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as a male tries to be masculine or what have you, show any emotion, he's immediately attacked and criticized. And yes, unfortunately, there are some dudes who use the soft boy approach just to get laid. And there's a problem with that. Men who use the soft boy approach because they just want to get laid, that makes real nice guys look bad. And this is why women are on the defensive when it comes to men being supportive on their emotional side. 100%, that is the truth. It goes back to that age-old expression, assholes ruin it for everybody. I mean, women for years have been saying they want a boy or a man who's more emotional, more supportive of her needs. You always hear that from women. They want a man who's supportive of her needs. Blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as they get what they want, they're unhappy. It's like, okay, either women don't know what the fuck they want, or they're just being insufferable. One of the two. Or maybe both. Women want a nice guy. As soon as they get a nice guy, they friend zone him. Women constantly complain about how they want a nice guy. And as soon as a nice guy comes into their life, They friend zone his ass. And then they sit there and, okay, they date the bad boy every time. Every time they date the bad boy. And as soon as he breaks her heart, or as soon as she breaks up with him because she can't fix him, just so she could brag to her friends, look what I fixed. Treating him like he's a broken car that needs to be fixed is what you're doing. If you're not happy with him 100%, then why are you dating him? Ladies, come on. You shouldn't. Okay, when it comes to dating, YouTube, if you think you have to fix certain things that people do, then you shouldn't date them. When it comes to dating, you're either happy with that person 100%, or you just don't date them. Plain and simple. For example, if I had a girlfriend and she said, Josh, I don't like you smoking tobacco, I'm worried about your health, I'd be like, so what's your point? Baby, I wish you quit. I ain't quitting. What's she gonna do? Threaten me with no sex? I mean, come on. You know, I like when... That's so funny when women do that shit. They get pissed off at their... They get pissed off at their male significant other half. No sex for 4 weeks. You are grounded. Like, ho, I've been told. We have hands, you know. And I'm here to tell you right now that that won't work with me, dude. You know what I'm saying? If I get a girlfriend and she tries grounding me from sex, that's not going to work for me. Eventually, she'll end up caving in and giving it to me. Because I'm just that awesome. You know, I go without it for over a year, so it doesn't work. Because to me, it's not that important. To me, cuddling is more intimate than making love, but that's just my opinion. So then, you know, some men try to go towards the middle ground. You know, not being a complete asshole, but also not being completely submissive. You know, and they're still chastised for it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't right. And wait till you're old enough to date. You know what I'm saying? If you're still young and what have you, take time to enjoy being a kid. I don't care what society says, YouTube. You know, you got college for that kind of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in high school, your main focus should be to graduate with at least an average, you know? Make some friends and graduate, you know what I'm saying? Because high school is a requirement. Your GED or diploma is a life requirement. You can't get a job anywhere anymore without having a high school diploma. So, that being said, you know, all these high school kids who are more... You get all these high school kids who are more focused on dating than they are on getting good grades. And that's not... No, dude. That's just... No. No. And that's only because society puts all this pressure on people to go out and have relations. Society makes us feel like shit for our imperfect bodies. Society makes us feel like shit if we don't have a romantic partner. You know. There's a social norm and a social expectation. There's a difference. Having a boyfriend or a girlfriend is considered to be a social norm and sometimes a social expectation, you know, and this is a problem with our society people will often attack you and your sexuality if you don't have anybody, and it's completely unfair. Maybe the dating scene where you're at is a little bit harder and more challenging. Maybe there aren't enough women to date in your area. You know what I'm saying? There could be a number of factors contributing to why you're single. And you shouldn't let people determine whether or not you have a relationship. If they're willing to attack you and ruin your life just because you exist, that just shows they're more miserable than you are. So, and I get where a lot of these women are coming from. There are some men who play that. There are some men who play that super sensitive, nice guy bullshit just to get laid. And this is you know what I'm saying. Like, be honest with the ladies, dude. Okay, if you're not a sensitive type, then don't be sensitive. Because you're making nice guys look bad is what you're doing. This is why a lot of women are on the defensive. Once these copper-handled wands are done, they'll be available for purchase on Etsy. But I want to let the glue on those wands dry for a couple hours, and then I'll get them trimmed up and I'll podge them all by hand, and then set them back on top of the paint cans to dry. So it's good to be somewhat on the defensive, because people can be snakes. People can be snakes sometimes, But to be so defensive that you take everything as an attack, that's not good, YouTube. To be so defensive that the simple gesture of holding the door for you turns into, you're trying to rape me, you a rape apologist piece of shit. Like, come on. There's got to be a line somewhere, okay? And I couldn't exaggerate this anymore if I wanted to. And this is becoming a real problem in our society. And the reason why women are so goddamn defensive is because of all the asshole men. And when women become defensive and insufferable and just 10 degrees of bitch, it makes men turn into assholes. So really, it takes two to fight. It takes two people to have a fight. Asshole men turn nice ladies into bitches, and bitches turn nice men into assholes. Every time, trust and believe. And, yeah. And there's a way to fix it. There's a way to fix it. Men and women need to be nicer to one another and be more sympathetic and understanding instead of, oh, it's all your fault. No, it's all your fault. Well, you're just a typical this. Yeah, well, you're a typical that. Playing the you're a typical game. You're just a typical blah, 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 blah. What does that get people? Jack shit. You can sit here, you can fucking sit here and play the blame game, point fingers. Oh, it's all your fault. That's not going to get you anywhere. Playing the blame game is only going to create more problems. It's not going to create solutions. And quite frankly, I get so sick and tired of women judging me just because I have a dick and balls between my legs. I mean, some women should understand how that feels. You hear women complain, I'm sick and tired of being judged for my tits. Oh my god. Ah. You know, you hear women constantly say, I'm sick and tired of being judged for being a woman. Join the club. Men get judged too. That's why it's called sexist treatment, because it happens to both sexes. Whoa! Crazy concept. And, let's see here. If we go to Google, let's go to Google. Let's see if they changed it. Nope. This is the kind of crap that irritates me. You go to Google, you Google the word sexism, noun, prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination, typically against women on the basis of gender. Sexism is language is an offensive reminder of the way the culture sees women are not synonyms. Really? Really? Ooh. Sexism in language is an offensive reminder of the way the culture sees women. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, you know what? I'm going to copy and paste the link for this, because do they really change the definition? They did, because last time I read this, it didn't say offensive reminder of the way the culture treats and sees women. Okay, this is the fucking problem. When the definition of sexism itself victimizes women. Are you fucking kidding me, YouTube? Are you... And you wonder why women are so pissed off. When the ultimate irony of it all, prejudiced stereotyping or discrimination typically against women on the basis of sex. Sexism is an offensive reminder of the way the culture sees women. Oh my fucking god. This is so irritating, Facebook and YouTube and social media. Why? Fuck you, Google. You know what my definition of sexism is? Prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination against gender based off of whether you're a man or a woman. Typically happens to both sexes. That's my definition of sexism. I need some coffee. It's cold, it's from yesterday, but I don't care. I'm going to drink it anyway. I can't imagine, YouTube, I cannot sincerely imagine why women are so goddamn defensive. Maybe because the definition of sexism itself is sexist. How about that? How about that? I can always make a pot of coffee later. I'm not worried about it right now. This is enough coffee to get the job done. Get me a little pep in my step. Cheers, YouTube. This is irritating beyond. Okay, I can't imagine why. YouTube, I sincerely cannot imagine why today's modern woman is so defensive. I really can't imagine why today's modern woman is so defensive. I really can't. Hard to believe. Offensive and defensive. And you really can't blame them too much, especially when we live in a society that victimizes women. You know, that's just the fucking truth of it. It's disgusting. Got the window open, so it's a wee bit chilly in my apartment, but I don't care. And this is the kind of crap. This is the kind of crap that feminazis love to bitch about. For obvious reasons, you know. That's definitely an oxymoron if I ever saw one, because the first two words that define sexism, prejudiced and stereotyping. Like, I'm not making this up. If you don't believe me, check out the link I posted in the description box below. Also, if you want to grab yourself a kick-ass King Cobra merch t-shirt, I've created a kick-ass new shirt design over on Teespring. The front of the shirt features a hooded king cobra with its mouth open, just popping out of the water. Really cool looking shot. And then the back features my symbol, and it says King Cobra on the back. It's some nice fancy writing. Very simple, very plain, but it looks good. So yeah, if you want an official King Cobra merch t-shirt, check out this awesome t-shirt. I'll provide the link for this one in the description box below as well. Buying a King Cobra t-shirt would be a great way to show your support for me. So, for my die-hard, super hard, die-hard fans, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm thinking about buying one when I get my wand money, to be honest. I guarantee you, though, that once men and women start respecting each other more, things will be different. The dating scene won't suck so much. Anyways, this is King Cobra JFS back at you with another provoking pipe thoughts. Getting those wands done and fighting for gender equality. I'll catch you cool cobras on the flip side.